Hey y'all, we making cheesecake today. Come on in. So we are not only just making cheesecake, we are going to bake them in these cans so that we can ship it. So the plan is that we're going to bake our cheesecake directly in the pan, freeze it overnight, and then we can overnight it the next day. This is kind of trial and error for me. I know how to make the cheesecake. The problem is shipping it. The graham cracker crust, I already bought the graham crackers pre-crushed. And I added my graham crackers. This is just graham crackers and butter. I don't add additional sugar to it because I feel like the graham crackers are already sweet enough. So I've already done that. I just melted the butter, put it in here. I will put the recipe for everything that you need for the cheesecake in the description below. So I just want to show you the consistency that it should be when you're done. You should be able to kind of form a ball and it should stay. This is how moist it should be. So again, this is not really something, I will give you the recipe, but it's not really something you can mess up. You can add a little bit more butter or you can add a little bit more graham cracker crumbs if the consistency is not where you want it to be. So we're going to go ahead and add this into our pan. And we're going to pop this in the oven for about 10 minutes and let it bake prior to putting our cheesecake batter in. So let's go ahead and get these ready, pop these in the oven, and then we'll go ahead and mix our cheesecake. So I'm going to pop this in the oven at 350 for about 10 minutes. And I just want it to bake until it's a little bit crispy and dry to touch. Okay, guys, so here is all the tools we're going to need. You are going to need a spatula for scraping and also your paddle attachment. In our bowl, we have our softened cream cheese and our granulated sugar. Here we have our eggs and our vanilla. In our next bowl, we have our cornstarch. And last but not least, we have heavy cream. So let's get mixing and get started. Hey guys, so our crust is in the oven baking. We're going to start our cheesecake mixture. So I have my cream cheese and my sugar already combined in this bowl. And I really did that because my cream cheese is very soft at room temp. All right, y'all. So our cream cheese and our sugar mixture is where we want it to be. All right, let's check it out. So it's light and it's creamy and it's fluffy. Good. Now we're going to go in and we're going to add in our eggs and our vanilla. We're going to add in the eggs one at a time, scrape down in between to make sure that everything is mixed up really, really well. So I am done mixing my cream cheese, my sugar, and my eggs. And I just want to show you what your batter should look like at this time. It's nice and creamy. It's still whitish in color, which is good. And I'm telling you about the color because if your mixture starts to turn yellowish, then that means it's starting to separate and you probably overmixed it. So we've mixed our cream cheese, eggs, and sugar. And now we're going to add in our other ingredients, which is a little bit of cornstarch. I'm going to add a little bit of cornstarch in. I've already pre-measured this, so. I'm going to mix that in. Everything is low and gentle with cheesecake. We're going to mix it low and gently. We're going to bake it low and gently, so don't rush it. Now, the last thing I'm going to add in is my heavy cream, okay? And at this point, guys, if you have any extra fixings that you're adding in, dried fruit, chocolate chip, walnuts, anything like that, this would be the time to add them in when you're done with everything. I would recommend you folding it in with your spatula, all right? So everything is added in. I'm going to give this one last scrape, one last mix, and then we're going to pop it in the oven. All right, let me just show you how that looks. Nice and creamy. You see that? And yes, it's a little fluid and a little thin, and it should be. Remember that cheesecake is a pie, all right? So just think about if you make like a sweet potato pie or a key lime pie, it's more like a baked custard is what it should be. But remember that we put the cornstarch in there, so that is what's going to cause it to firm up. So don't worry about it being too loose. That's how it should be before we bake it. So we have our pans. This is our crust. So you see that I baked it for about 10 minutes, and I just want to bake it until it's a little bit crunchy and dry to touch. That's it. All right. So I'm going to put my cheesecake mixture inside of my pans, and then we're going to take this to the oven. All right, guys. So here we are. We're about to put it in the oven. I just left a little space because cheesecake is not going to give you a lot of a rise. It will rise a little, but not a lot. And it shouldn't. You shouldn't get a big dome on top, okay? The most important thing that I want you guys to know about baking these cheesecakes is to bake them low and slow. So I'm going to put these cheesecakes in the oven on 300 degrees, and I'm also going to add a bowl of water. Now, you can do it in two different ways. You can either do it in a what we would call a water bath, so a larger, deeper pot, fill it up with about 1/3 water, and then you put your pan down inside the water. Now, if you're going to do that, I would recommend, especially if you're using a springform pan, which would be the normal way to do it, would be to wrap it in foil so that water does not seep into your pan. I choose to just put a bowl in the bottom of my oven. So some type of heat safe bowl. Make sure bowl, pot, whatever you're using can go in the oven. So the water is going to add moisture into the oven and keep your cheesecakes from drying out and cracking. This is probably the most important step of baking the cheesecake because you want it to have that nice flat surface. You don't want that big dome and the crack in the middle. You want it to be beautiful because if you want to serve it plain with maybe just some fresh berries, you want to have a beautiful top. And this is going to give you that. So you want to bake it low, 300 degrees, slow. These are probably going to bake, they're small. I would say they're probably going to bake for about 40-45 minutes. I'm going to set my timer for 30 minutes to check on them. And I'm going to put my water in the bottom part of my oven just to add moisture into the air inside the oven so that it does not crack. So let's get these baking and I'll show you what they should look like when they come out. So here's the cheesecake in the pan. It's already been cooling for a little bit, so it's starting to kind of pull away from the edges, which is great. It baked up in this pan beautifully. I am going to let this completely chill for about 4 to 6 hours in the fridge. We're going to dig into this one tonight for dessert because this was kind of a test for me to see how it would bake up in here, and I'll let you guys know how it came out. So here's the heart-shaped pan that we did, and overall I think it turned out great. It did shift some in transit, but the couple said that they really enjoyed it, and I'm happy with that. Thanks again, guys, for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.